So good evening, everybody, and welcome to Meet the Judge live on Facebook and YouTube. Tonight, my guest needs no introduction to most people. Pedro Bispo, sorry, my apologies. Well-known breeder of boxers and Boston Terriers. Very popular judge worldwide from Portugal. And we're delighted to have Pedro join us tonight. Before we start talking to Pedro, I can't allow tonight pass without mentioning the fact that we lost one of the young stars of Irish dogs this week. Those of us around long enough in dogs knew Fiona Hurley since birth and watched her grow from a fun-loving, red-headed girl to a kind, beautiful-hearted woman, even with the tragedy of the death of her father at a very young age. Fiona loved her sport, she loved her career, and she loved life. Always smiling and always having the crack. Fiona, you will be sorely missed, and we send our heartfelt condolences to Evelyn and to the whole family. And rest in peace, Fiona. You went too young. Sad note to start with, I'm afraid, Pedro, but Fiona was she died very young in her 40s. So, how are you?
Well, I'm okay. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Cole. Since our last dog show together in Gibraltar, what a nice time there. And it was nice to meet you for the first time. Well, okay. I'm okay. Nowadays, during this pandemic situation, it's not easy. But like we was talking, nowadays the problem health in Portugal, it's not the best time because we never know when the fourth wave catch us. Let's see.
And what currently, what is the situation in Portugal? Because as I said to you, we hear that Spain is having another wave, France is having another wave, Germany is having another wave. Is Portugal similar?
Yes, at the moment it doesn't start yet, but in my opinion, it goes to start very quickly because our bloody governments decide to open schools and start open step by step some things in a hurry without strategy. And well, we are Latin people. We like to to take a beer, to go to the beach, to walk, to run, to be with friends. And well, it's not easy. And 1 week before Easter to start open some things, it's not the right strategy if you want to protect families and protect the country. Also, there is a very, people are trying very hard to start everything, because economy, the pressure of economy, the pressure of the tourism. But in my opinion, we must have a right strategy to open step by step, no matter if it is a restaurant or a hotel or whatever. If you want to protect the next month. Mm-hmm. It's cold now in Portugal. It's about, it's not that cold like in other countries, but it's not the right time, in my opinion, to start open everything, okay? And let's see, I hope that we don't have a fourth wave like France, like Spain, like Czech Republic. And I hope not. But at the moment, we are much better than in the last months. But in terms of vaccination, well, if you go to the statistics of Europe, we are not in the best place.
No, we're not. That's the same here, because we're not getting the supply.
Yeah.
So,
but here we I don't know how they share these vaccinations in Europe, in the European Union, but the things here are not running very quickly. I guess that we go to have sometimes, and also what the public that you have vaccinated, because they start, for example, doctors, nurse, and something else, school teachers, and that these people are not in the first list. Also, some old people, only now they are start to vaccine to give some vaccines. And let's see. I'm not a positive guy with these politics around, because for me health it's the number one, because you can be the most rich person in the world, but without health you are nothing. And well, it's the time to put the vaccination to every people in Europe, no matter if you are rich, poor, black, white, wherever, because health comes first. But let's see.
Well, we have in Ireland, we have just moved from a career-based vaccination program to age. So it is going to be age-based on a 10-year, on a decade system. So 70s to 80s will be done, 60s to 70s will be done, and then 50s to 40s will be done. We're going to see how that works out. I think probably it'll work out quite well.
Yeah.
But we're still very slow, like you. It's so slow because the vaccine. We're just not getting the vaccines.
Let's see. Let's see what is going on. Let's see.
So let's get on with this now, Pedro.
Yeah.
As you were growing up, did you have dogs? Were your parents involved in dogs, or how did your passion for dog showing and breeding come about?
Well, my story begins like we didn't. My grandfather had dogs, German Shepherds, Strela mountain dogs. But my father wants a dog to be in home, but my mother don't allow to have the dog. And well, one day, and I start to move with some friends. One special friend who put me starting and give these first steps with is Luís Gurjão Henriques, that he's also a judge. And I start with him, like little boys. To some of them go to play football in the gardens. We go to dog shows. We go to visit breeders, and I told to my father and my mother that I'd like to have a dog, and my mother said, "Well, forget it." But I start to be a little bit involved in boxers and in Great Danes and these Group 2 dogs, and I get in love with boxers. But my father also, he is a boxer lover, and he decided that if it is a dog to have in home in our family, must be a boxer. And my mother said, forget it. And one day, one weekend, my father and my mother went to the beach, and then turning in Guincho, it's a place here in Portugal. And then when they come back to home, there is a very known dog show that nowadays don't exist. That is the International Estoril Dog Show. It's like a casino garden near the beach. Well, beautiful dog show. And my father and my mother make a stop there. And they go to visit. And then they find a litter with a mommy and one breeder with boxers. And it was like 9 puppies. And well, my father and my mother take one puppy that they fall in love. Okay. And they imagine that when they arrive home to make me a surprise. And well, like I said before, I was just involved in boxers, breeders, blah, blah, blah. And then I arrive home, my mother closed the kitchen door, and then surprise, surprise. And then I saw a puppy boxer. I was like, I don't know, but about 16 or 17 or something like that. And then I saw that, and I have two feelings. two huge feelings. First feeling, it's start crying because finally I have my puppy. The second feeling was when you are used to drive a Ferrari and someone gives you a Volkswagen. And I look at the puppy and say, and you know what you call, speaking about boxers, and I look at the head and I said, what a nose. Probably it's a breeding, it's a hunting breed or something like that. But it was funny because no matter what, it was my first boxer, it was my first dog, it was he sleep with me. My parents and me, we drive to the South Portugal holidays with the boxer in the car with us, like family. No matter how, it was my boxer. Okay, and well, then start the madness. Then imagine, I already was in the boxer with boxer breeders. I already was with Luis Gurjão and dog shows, helping old ladies to show the dogs. Well, I have a dog. Come on, let's go to make a show and start like this way.
And how long did it take you to start to win then within boxers?
Well, with this boxer, definitely I didn't start nothing. Okay, I made a show. I made 2, 3, 4 shows with him. The best I reached was very good. That for me was exciting. But okay, he started to be the dog of my parents. Then I start to find some place where I can have a female. Then with some friends, because in that time I live with my parents, I can't have more dogs in home. And then I start to make some experience. But then I changed completely the line breeding. And I must say that I start winning about like 8 or 10 years later, something like that. Why? Because I changed completely out of the line breeding. I go to take some lines, Italian lines, German lines, and then also I start traveling around Europe to very important dog shows where I can see the results of some sires and some lines, and then I start winning. I must say that I was a guy that I made about 3-4 liters a year. But I must say also that I start winning very, very earlier. I was very young when I start winning with some dogs.
And your first champion was achieved when?
Well, my first champion was achieved like, I don't know, about 25 years ago. I think so.
Okay. And in terms of boxers, for you, what is the characteristic, the breed feature of the boxer?
It's your buddy, okay? It's your friend. It's someone who, if you have a good friend, when you call, when you have a problem, to go, speaking about Ireland, to go a bar and have a beer and to have a good talk. And this is the temperament, okay? The characteristic for me, the first one, it's the temperament. I must say that also the temperament, speaking about a boxer in general, okay, it's your friend. He's there for whatever you need, whatever you want. Also, okay, but about standard, I'm going to interrupt you there now.
I'm going to interrupt you there now for a minute because.
But for me, temperament, it's the main thing.
Because I had a couple of boxers from. One was from Anne Ingram, and actually, your description of that that epitomizes the characteristic of the boxer, because they are your buddy.
It's our buddy. That's
just the best description I've ever heard now, and it is so true. It is so true. But the most important breed characteristic in terms of standard, when you judge a boxer, what are you looking for?
Well, first of all, when I judge a boxer or when I judge another breed, I'm not a kind of judge who look only for the standard. Okay. To judge, first of all, I must have the standard in my mind, obviously. But also I must have the temperament of that dog, and also for what that breed exists. Okay.
Yes.
And then it's all about mechanic. Okay. And go to your question about the boxer. Well, the first shots, it's square, square, square. Okay. And then it's about angulations. And when you arrive or when the dog arrives to you, it's all about temperament. Okay. And in the last one, it's emotions, because we are humans. Okay. And sometimes you have the best movement, but not the best temperament. Then you look at the dog. It's the standard in terms of construction or about head, but not with the right temperament. And I try my best when I judge to have these 4 points when I make my work judging.
Okay. So we got quite a few people watching it right now. Stuart Danker from Canada. Good evening, Stuart. He just wants to know where the best boxers are found, in your opinion, and also, is there a huge variation from country to country?
Okay. Thank you for your question. Well, first of all, it depends. You must look at the history of the boxers. Okay. If you went to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, okay, the best boxers was in Germany. Okay. Then they evaluate and come and you start to try to find the best quality down in South Europe. Okay. Then you have the golden days, and it was in Italy, and it was in Italy. That's the 80s and the 90s, and then the important top boxers was between South Europe. I mean Spain. I mean Italy. Not totally France, but Spain, Italy, and Germany. Okay, it was the best boxers. But you must look to the history, because I have a presentation when I went to the very first, to the origin of the boxer. Okay, go down there in the Bullenweiser, and to nowadays. And okay, it depends of the years, and you have the top boxers country to country. Going directly to the second questions, yes, they are completely different if you go to United Kingdom, to America, to USA, or to Europe. They are completely different. And this is something that I don't understand, because there is only one standard.
Yes.
Okay? And this is something that I don't understand. It's don't many people tell me, Pedro, this is an English type. No, it's not an English type. It's an English line. Oh, this is an American type. No, it's not an American type. It's an American line. Okay. And every single line breeding have the past. Okay. Have a pedigree, have a genetic force that tell you how the breed is today. If you breed with United Kingdom lines, you go to have a boxer with a line breeding that arrived from England. Okay, it's not a type, because there is only one standard. Okay, and well, they are different, but in my opinion, they have very, very positive points all over the different worlds. I must say, USA, United Kingdom.
Do you not find the over-exaggeration offensive?
Sorry?
Do you not find the over-exaggeration
offensive? Obviously, but this is the problem. This is the main problem in breeding, you know. This is the main problem in breeding. People want to make experience, and breeding it's not about experience. People want to try, and breeding it's not about trying, because you can try like lotto. Okay, you play and put money every single week, and then you lose money and you don't have any results. Okay, and breeding it's all about that. Okay, people must look at the positive points, must look what they want for the breed. Okay, and take a look to the Bible. In the Bible, it's the standard. Okay, but obviously, if you go to the America, you have completely straight angulations. You have a completely high neck. You have also almost parallel, okay, nose and skull, and no angulations at all. Very, very elegant. But they are not all of them like that. Because, for example, in USA, you have the Boxer Club, and the people and the breeders who goes to the Boxer Club don't go to the American Kennel Club shows. I must say, and I make a post today because Facebook remember me, in 2017, USA Boxer Club invited me to judge the Yaris Seeger in California. And when I arrived there, I became like, my God, what is going on here? Okay, boxers from Germany, from Netherlands, from Italy, from Spain. Wow. And it's impossible to see there, for example, a typical American Kennel Club boxer. Okay. If you go to England, I already judge in all the countries of United Kingdom. And if I go, for example, to Ireland or to England, I must say that it's a completely different type. Okay. Also in Europe, but exaggerated. For example, in Europe, for example, I must say that we don't need a boxer very, very exaggerated, like a PT, a personal trainer. You know, you don't need that. You only need to be agile, mechanic, completely straight, completely good movement, well balanced movement with some muscles, but you don't need, like a strong, fat, and very deep chest boxer. And nowadays, for example, in my opinion, it's not the best moment for the boxers because very short arms, very short noses, very, very bad in the back, and no matter what country you go. But different countries, they have positive points.
Okay. So 2 other boxer-related questions. Does the tail offend you?
The tail?
Yes.
What mean the tail? The natural tail?
The natural tail. Does that offend you?
No, of course not. Well, you like a judge, you must look at the boxer with a natural tail or crop tail. It's the same. It's completely the same because you are not a judge of tails. Okay. Yeah, and for me, with or without tail, you must see them without any problem. Okay, because if we are talking about with a head or without a head, it's completely different. But the tail, no, you must look. I offend me when I offend it when the natural tail or the crop tail, it's too high or too low. Who change completely the mechanic of the movement of the dog in the back. This offend me. Okay, or if the tail are like a Shiba Inu tail. Okay, that kind of things offend me. But natural tail or crop tail, for me it's the same.
And other question is, there is a trend appearing within Europe, in a lot of European countries, where boxers are now double-handled. Do you?
Well, it depends. Well, it depends what we call double-handed.
Well, I'm talking about. I'm talking.
It depends, and I tell you why.
People outside the ring attracting them and throwing balls all over the place, and it is creeping into Europe.
Okay, for me, there is a rules. There are rules. and you must be on the rules. Okay, in some countries, and these depend of the judge. For me, for example, and not talking only about boxers, because I'm judge of group 2. For example, when I judge Dobermans or when I judge Rottweilers, it's a completely madness ring. And when I arrive to the ring, I normally, who knows me, I judge speaking loudly. Okay, and when I'm judging special, if I am judging in special breed dog shows, I always make my reports loudly by voice to the people. Okay, and when I arrive, and you must know the people that you go to have in your ring. When I go to judge French bulldogs, there is a kind of group of people, a kind of behavior. When I go to judge Rottweilers, change completely. Okay, and you must talk with the people and explain. Listen, I don't want a circus here. I don't want a rock concert. I don't want a madness here. Okay, let the dog behave naturally. Okay, if someone call, I don't want to see who it is. Okay, but I don't want nothing in my ring. I don't want balls. I don't want wallets. I don't want nothing here. Not even a bottle of wine. Okay, okay. And then we can work together. And if someone start to be very loud, to scream, calling the dog, I advise 1, 2, and if don't behave, I say, if you want that I judge your dog, please behave. It's a question of rules, but with communication, with the right behavior, because you, like a judge, you are one of the show. You are not the star. Okay, you are one of the show, and you must communicate with your people, with the people who work with you, no matter if it is a ring steward, a handler, or a owner, or someone who wants to make double handling. But for example, if I find in my ring an old man or an old lady who arrive with a dog, and when I say, please make a round, and if she or he ask me if someone more younger can run with the dog, for me, I don't have any problem.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So when you started in boxers and showing dogs, what people influenced you greatly or taught you about boxers?
What influenced me in breeding, or
what people?
What people?
When you started?
When I start,
yes.
Some people who influenced me was, well, some Germans. By the way, I was influenced by some friends in Italy. Mr. Tannoni, for example, was one of the Italian breeders who influenced me a lot. I also in Germany some, and I'm not the right guy to speak in names. I already told one, but one of the men who the breeders who influenced me a lot in terms of breeding was Mr. Tannoni. Mr. Tannoni was the name breeder of the name del Col dell'Infinito in Italy, who makes a history in boxers.
Okay.
Obviously that I read a lot and I explore a lot in the origin of the boxers with Madame Stockman, but there is another story.
Speaking of breeding, when you are breeding, when you're deciding to mate a bitch, are you a pedigree studier? Or sorry, that's my phone. Are you a pedigree studier, or do you go with, I think that bitch is going to suit that dog?
Well, I must say that I'm a kind of breeder. Nowadays, I don't breed, but when I used to breed, I must say that I try never, as much as I can, I don't breed with that fancy and fancier or champion or whatever. I used to go, and I start to go to very important dog shows worldwide in boxers, like Atibox, like FCI World or Yari Seegers, boxer Yari Seegers in Portugal, in Spain, in France, in Germany, in Italy, and all over the countries in Europe. And I must say that I used to make statistics. And sometimes I arrive, and some of my friends ask me, Pedro, why you go under the puppies and under the juniors and much more than watching the champions? Because I used to arrive in dog shows when I was some years ago, and I take my pen and the catalog, and then I like a puppy with that head, with that expression, with that movement, and I go and see who is the father and the mother, and then start to work what lines, and then if I find, for example, 3, 4, 5 puppies that the father is the same and with different mothers, I can find something near. I always try with this box. Well, this is what is this? You know that breeding, it's an open road, okay?
Yes.
And as much you have an open road, you can easily get lost. If you make a road more straight, getting lost, it's not that problematic. And like I said before, I used to make like 3, maximum 4 liters a year, maximum. But some years I made 2 or 3 liters. And normally I get champions, normally. And many of my close haters or close friends used to say that Pedro Bispo, it's all about lucky. It's all about luck. But I used to make these statistics, and sometimes it was excellent, and sometimes it's not so excellent. But it's all about breeding. You can't control the genetics.
Yes. And as an exhibitor, what's been your biggest achievement?
Well, as exhibitor, I must say that I win the European champion. I win Atibox. Atibox, it's for those who don't know, Atibox, it's the best. It's the International Association of Boxers Breeding, and also I win European champions, and also not a lot, but some of Yari Seegers in some European countries. But for me, the best achievement, like a exhibitor, was in Atibox, obviously.
And you're also involved with Boston's.
Yeah, but Boston's was like, nowadays I have a French Bulldog, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, but Boston Terrier was like I'd like to have a little boxer, okay? But it was something in that breed that I forget when I make my shoot. It was the last name, Terrier.
Yeah. Okay.
Terrier. I forget about Terrier. And they are a lot different of boxers. But but let's go.
They are little terriers, aren't they? Okay. And talk to me about your love of Cane Corso.
Oh my goodness.
Because you do love them, don't you? You have a passion for them.
Yeah. I must say, all of us, I stay like a judge. I stay 5 years with boxers only. And many people ask me, Pedro, but why? Why only boxers? Why you don't want to be an all-round or a group judge? Or yes, boxers. My love, it's a boxer. My world is the boxers, and that's it. I don't want to be judge of any breed unless boxers. But we start to growing up, open our heads, and I start to see some breeds that I fall in love. And then I grow up like a judge. I must say that in the last years, I discover a completely passion for one breed, and it's an Italian breed. It's the Cane Corso, and I must say that it's an ancestral breed. It's a very, very antique breed, and very, very how I say. It's something like you said that touched my heart, and nowadays I must say that I'm a Cane Corso lover. Okay, and it's a very special breed in terms of temperament. It's a very special breed in terms of every characteristic that the breed have in his behavior, in his how the way he looks at you, the behavior with you. It's something special. It's something special. By the way, it's interesting because it's an Italian breed.
Yes.
And for those who know me quite well, knows that I'm a fan of Italy. But Cane Corso, it's completely different of the Italian people. You know, the Cane Corso, it's more calm. It's more pragmatic. He take a look at you and the environment, very clever. And the Cane Corso make a step when he really knows how to give this step, what is completely different of Italians, okay?
I have to say, I judged him for the first time in Australia last year, and I found him absolutely a beautiful breed to judge.
Also,
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, but Cole, it's like the boxer, you know. If you go to Italy, for example, I go very often to Italy, and also I judge several times Cane Corso in Italy. But even in Italy, they have completely opposite line breedings, you know. And we must take a look what is the right Cane Corso, you know. Because if you go to Italy, no matter if you go to south, more in south, but no matter if you go to south or north, you have completely different lines, not type.
Yeah.
Because sometimes arrive that one who, you don't like my type of Cane Corso. No, it's not about type. Okay. Because you have extreme, you can have the extreme in Cane Corso, more light without bone, some shy temperament, and you can have the opposite. It's like a bull mastiff. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Opposite. Yeah. And it's Cane Corso. It's must be a well balanced breed.
So, when did you first start judging?
Well, I start judging in '96. It was my first license, only for boxers, only a national judge. And 2 years later, I became an international judge only for boxers.
And when you started judging, was there one piece of advice that you got that really stuck with you?
Yes. When I put my license, when I put my papers to be a judge, and because I was a breeder in those times, and I used to listen and to speak with many judges and also breeders, but with that few group of people who I can make some questions, there was 2 or 3 advisors that 2 or 3 persons who gave me the same advice. Be honest with you, be honest with your decisions, be honest with yourself. Okay? Don't change. Okay? If you are what you are like a person, if you are what you are like a breeder, okay? And if you have this point of view in the breed, when you go inside the ring, don't change. Don't try to be like that one, or don't try to because that breeder, it's an important breeder, I must respect him because he came with a very important champion. No. Be yourself. Okay, be honest with yourself. And these three important people and I'm not speaking only about boxers, told me, Pedro, don't change. Be yourself. Don't change when you go inside the ring.
Yeah. And when you are judging breeds that you maybe haven't judged before, do you go and ask for advice or from people within the breed? How important do you think it is for judges to do that when they are judging?
Well, this is a good question. Well, who the people who know me knows that I'm not a correct political guy. Before I became a judge, I was for some years ring steward. Okay, and I was a ring steward, and I must say I was a ring steward for many judges and for many important names. When you are a ring steward and you are there to learn, like my case, and you have a judge who asks you, what breed is this? What I can do? Did you know the colors of these breeds? And
yeah,
a young boy like me, that I was there to learn and listen to this and start to say to myself, this is a kind of judge that I don't want to be. And answer to your question, no matter if you receive before or not the breed list that you go to judge, okay, obviously that if I have any important doubt before I judge, and if I know what breed I go to judge, I don't have any problem to ask about that particular point. But if I have this particular point to ask, it's because before I read the standard, I read the books, I went under the breed. What kind of breed is this? For what exists? What he do? What he used to do like a breed? And blah blah blah. And this is something that you learn every day. And I don't have any problem to ask, but you must ask that particular question. You can't ask to your friend or your colleague what kind of colors or how it's the head. Yeah. Okay, if you don't know how to be the head of that breed, you don't know nothing.
Don't judge it.
Okay, but I don't have any problem to ask about that particular question because I just learn a lot, but I have something to learn more. And then I'm available to make that question.
And Ingram is just commenting that personally she wouldn't do it herself, but she does love Cane Corso with the short cropped ears.
With
short cropped ears.
Well, like I said, Cane Corso, it's a very ancestral breed. And that kind of design of the cropped ear, it's something that they used to make not for beauty.
Yes. Okay.
For example, like a flame, the ears cropped in America, for example, that is for beauty. For me, it's not any beauty in there, but okay. But the cropped ears for example, we have a Portuguese breed that is the Fila San Miguel. That have also a special cropped ear like a hyena, but it's not for beauty, that kind of cropped ear. Okay, but if you ask me, I prefer them with cropped ears or natural breeder or natural ears. For me, the main thing is you must watch and make the right interpretation of that head with or without cropped ears.
So you have loads of people watching, Pedro, from Ireland, the UK. Francesco is watching in Italy. Mate Duran, Enrique is watching in Spain. Loads of people. So
thank you.
So do you enjoying?
Happy Easter, Happy Easter, Buona Pasqua. Una buona Pasqua per tutti, and well, Happy Easter for everybody.
Stop showing off your languages.
Sorry?
Stop showing off your languages.
No, I only want to show it to people.
So do you enjoy judging abroad?
Yeah. Yes.
And aside from your own breeds, is there, and we've discussed Cane Corso, but is there a breed that you really, really like to judge?
Well, I must say that some of them, I love to judge. Well, let's be a little bit before. Well, I am free, and I have the freedom to choose what breeds I want to judge.
Okay.
And when I choose that I want to judge a breed, it's because I find something in that breed that have something that give me some emotions and give me pleasure to judge. Okay? And I must say that almost all the breeds that I judge today, I love them. For example, I'm a boxer person. Why I judge Maltese? Because I found the beauty of that breed. Okay? Why, for example, nowadays I judge poodles. What a kind of boxer man or second group judge? Poodles? Well, only the people who can't understand the behavior of a poodle, the mechanic and the movement of a poodle don't understand nothing. And
so true.
Well, this is a long conversation. I'm free. I have the freedom to choose what breeds I want to judge. I'm not the kind of judge that think about my career to be an all-rounder judge. I'm not the kind of judge to be all-rounder. Okay.
And is there a fault that really irritates you?
A what?
A fault.
A fault. Well, the fault that really, really irritates me, it's fake. Okay? Fake. And fake means when some dog arrives me with some paintings, with a nose, for example, in boxers, a nose with black nose, but it's painting, or with a tattoo in the eye, in the third part, fake. With a tail that it's a dead tail, and you don't in the movement, the breed must put the tail like this, and then the tail it's like that tail, for example, bull mastiff, and then you go under the bones of the tail, you found that there was a surgery.
Okay.
Or, for example, when you go to judge boxers, and when you go to touch the testicles, or when you go to see there is two or one, and you touch and there is one and silicone something, okay? This is really irritates me. It's don't play with my face, okay? This is a beauty contest. This is a standard contest. This is a dog contest, okay? If you have something in your dog, please, it's a dog like others. It's a pet like others. It's a dog. It's our body in home. But please, you don't need to make some fake to come to the dog to play with the judge. Okay?
It's all right.
This really irritates me.
It's all right. And in your career so far as a judge, has there been a particular dog that you've judged that you reckon is as close to perfect to the standard, and really gave you that wow factor?
Well, I have some dogs in different breeds, but I'm honest with you, I don't have in my mind the breeders or the name of the dogs. But I must say that speaking about boxers, for example, Nick de Rufete was one of my dream dogs ever. But I must say that I'm very, 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 how I say, lucky, because when you arrive in a dog show, and you asked me some minutes ago that I love to judge abroad. Yes, I love to judge abroad, but especially breed special shows. Okay, it's more fancy to go World Dog Show, European Dog Show, very big SASIBs or whatever. But what really gives me pleasure is to go to some breed special shows where you can when you can speak naturally with the people, with the breeders, and this is something that I really, really, really love. Okay, for example, and in that shows, going directly to your question, when you find some dog, or in that shows or another, when you find a dog that you easily take with you home, make my day. That's make my day. Sometimes I take a photo, I don't remember, I easily forget names, never a face, but this is something that I love. And also, speaking about dogs, and when you ask me if I like to go abroad, I must say that, okay, it's a pleasure to go to small shows, special breed shows, but also what is very, very interesting for me and put my heart screaming, it's when you judge a puppy, for example, Italy or Hungary or Russia or whatever, okay, Australia, Ireland. You arrive invited for someone, you arrive to the show and you judge a puppy and you fall in love with that. And 1 or 2 years later, you go again and you just forget that puppy, and then you fall in love with that dog. Well, 2 years, 2.5 years dog, and then the owner arrives to you after the dog show and say, remember this one? And these make my day.
Yeah. And is there a dog past or present that you've never judged but you would love to?
Well, a lot of dogs. Well, if we are speaking about boxers, well, I never judged. For example, the boxers of the 70s, and that was the one of the golden era also in boxers. And also, I must say that in several breeds, no matter if it is a Newfoundland or a Boston Terrier or a boxer there is, in my opinion, we are not in the good moment. We are not in a good moment, because in my breed, for example, boxers, if I go some years ago, I found much better dogs than nowadays. But in Cane Corso, nowadays, it's easy to see how hard work breeders of this breed, no matter if it is in Italy or in Russia, they work a lot to make the Cane Corso nowadays much better than in the past. And this is the balance of the interesting work of the breeders. Yes. Because the breeders are the very important ones in the breeds.
That's very true. That is very true. So when you get an irate exhibitor or somebody who doesn't agree with what your decisions, how do you deal with that?
When someone don't agree with my decisions?
Yes, when you have an irate exhibitor, somebody really just...
Okay, don't buy the ticket for next time. Okay, okay. It depends. I'm always free to speak after the dog show, always. Okay, but sometimes I understand in the first minute if it goes to be an interesting conversation or not. When someone don't agree with your opinion or with what it's not about opinion, it's about decision. Okay, you understand in the first minute if it is goes to be a good conversation or not. If I find someone who wants to listen and wants to understand my point of view, okay, I'm completely available, because I have a lot to learn, but I just learn to be what I am now. But if it is a kind of person that knows everything,
okay,
it's not a space in the brain to learn something or to listen, I say bye. Next time, my name, it's in the program, please don't buy the tickets. Okay,
that's a fair point. So as a judge, what's been your biggest achievement?
Well, like a judge, my biggest achievement, well, I already judge the very important FCI shows, but for me, for example, this year I go to judge the World Dog Show. I go to judge very important SASIP shows. But for me, the biggest achievement, like a judge, is to judge the ATIBox twice. And by the way, I go to judge this year again.
Wow.
But for me, that is not the big achievement. For me, it's the special moment, because it's, for me, it's not important if you judged the World Dog Show, because the World Dog Show, okay, it's the biggest show for FCI, but for me, the biggest achievement, it's the moment of that dog in that place, in that country where you judged, and make your day. And my biggest achievement, for example, it was to judge all over the three continents that I have judged some breeder special breed shows. Okay, a group of people, a group of helpers, a group of breeders who work on that breed, who decide to invite a judge to be together in the table with them, judge, listen and speak, and share knowledge about the breed. For me, these are the best moments. If you ask me the best achievement, I must say that I'm a very, very lucky guy, because I had the pleasure to have special moments in my life judging. For example, speaking about Cane Corso, I was, if I'm not wrong now, I was and I am the only judge non-Italian to judge a Yari Seeger Cane Corso in Italy, for example. And this is moments. Now, this is moments, and the moments make my life. It's not judge European dog shows or world dog shows. I mean, FCI, it's important for you, like a career, like a judge. But for me, the very, very important, it's the moments. Because sometimes you are in a big show, you are one of 45 judges, you are only one in the bus, okay? It's a hurry for everything. You have 2 minutes for dog. Everybody's pressing you. Hotel, restaurant, hotel, airport, and bye-bye. And what? Where was the moment? What CACs? No. I prefer to be in a dog show where I can sit to have a simple beer with the people, with breeders, sharing emotions, sharing knowledge. And I like to judge speaking about every single dog to the handler, to the people present, and without pressure. And it's about pleasure, okay? And I travel for my pleasure to learn more. I make the decision when I decide to be a judge. I decide to be a judge to learn more. I decide to be a judge because I found in that time I tried to find a way to go to different countries and learn what is going there, what the breeders have there, what kind of dogs they have there, because I only saw in the computer, okay, in photos. And this is for me, it's the way.
And Ingmar agrees with you that box of speciality is an absolute joy to judge.
Sorry?
Anne Ingram agrees with you that boxer speciality is absolutely brilliant to judge.
Yeah.
We also have a question from Paul Keenan, who is in boxers in this country, and he's just asking you why you're against baiting dogs, and when in a country where dogs are trained by baiting, is it not better to judge the dogs in that format?
Sorry, but I didn't understand the question.
He's wondering why you are against baiting dogs. In other words, feeding dogs
Baiting.
feeding dogs while they're being
Feeding.
shown. Yes, and when that's the way they're trained in the country, is it not better to judge them that way?
Well, first of all, if you are feeding the dog during the judgment, I can't see and I can't make the right interpretation of your expression, calm, if you are eating a beef or a pizza. Okay, I can't. Okay, and in boxers, for example, if you are feeding the dog during the judgment, you only are able to watch what the handler wants that you see. It's the construction, the body, to the dog make stand. Okay, but when you arrive to see the expression and you open the mouth, and when you open the mouth and you have liver inside, chicken inside, cheese inside, it's a completely terrible for me. Okay, it's disgusting. Also in some shows, and I don't want to speak about what countries, sometimes in the floor, in the ring, when I start to say move, and the dog wants to catch every liver, every chicken, every cheese he found in the floor, because people are feeding the dog and then send the liver or the whatever for another place. And this is not the right. Okay, you must train your dog. You must train your dog to give something to be stand when the judge arrives to see the dog in position and completely stopped. But you must show. I was a handler, okay? I used to handle my dogs. And I show a little bit smell. You give to smell the dog to catch the attention, okay? And then you show the dog, look at you. And then when the judge go away, you send, and then let's go, buddy. Let's run. It's a completely different. It's a question of behavior. It's a question of train. Okay. And you are not, if you are not able to train your dog, gives to someone who is able to work with their dog.
Okay. So do you enjoy critiquing? Do you see a great value in critiquing?
Yes. Yes. You mean critiquing by voice or writing?
Either.
Okay. Okay. Dog shows. It's not the reason of the dog show. It's not for place dogs. Okay. The reason of the dog show, someone pay the ticket to go to the dog show under a judge to listen, not to be placed or not placed. They pay to receive an opinion. Okay? If they know everything, stay home. Okay? But critiquing, it's the most important thing in the dog shows. Okay? Like I said before, I was a ring steward. Okay? And also I was an exhibitor. When I receive a paper to say 3 years and a half, brindle male, good movement, excellent. What is this? What is this? I know that my dog have 3 years and a half. I know that it's a male, and I know that it's a brindle. Okay? Critiquing, the people nowadays pay, and this is my opinion, and I mean, I speak for myself. When I go to a judge, I go to show the dog to a judge who I want to receive an opinion. I can call him, yes, I can message him, but I can send an email. But when I pay to go to a dog show, it's to receive an opinion, a different point of view of someone that I respect that to give me an opinion. And because that, I'm completely against to dog shows without critiquing.
Okay, yeah. And in terms of the development of breeds, do you think judges have a role in that?
Sorry.
Do you think judges have a role to play in developing breeds?
Not everyone, but well, judges are the people who have the power and the decision to make place. Who goes to be first? Who goes to be second? To who goes to be third, and the other places. Well, when a very, very high percentual of judges agree in some dog, the point of view for out of the dog shows is that the majority of the judges agree that, speaking about male, for example, that male, it's what we want for that breed. Okay. And yes, this is something that goes to give influence to the breeders, and the breeders goes to look at to this dog like with something important to breed. But dog shows exist and this is the main thing in dog shows. Exist to give opinions, to make decisions. But nowadays, I mean, I was a ring steward for very important judges like Mr. Periconi, like Mr. It's like very, 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 very important judges, and I learn a lot with them. And I believe that in the past, the breeders look a lot of this much than nowadays, because nowadays there is a culture that the majority of the judges don't understand nothing when they lose, and they are very, very high experts when they win. And in home, they make what they want. They don't need judges for nothing because they know everything. And nowadays, I have a question: if we judges, we are very that important to make decisions in the breed, because sometimes you judge under the standard. You judge to have the standard in your mind, and we explain to the people the positive points and the negative points of this dog, and why not he win. And then you see that they continue breeding with that dog. For example, without speaking in names, and also don't speak about breeds. I don't understand why a dog, very, very important champion, gives a lot in statistics, a lot of white dogs in the litters, and okay, for example, boxers.
Yes.
And the people continue making litters because the puppies of that dog are very, very expensive. Okay, and this is not, in my opinion, it's not the right way to do it. Not every time the winner dog must be the father of all litters.
Absolutely.
And I don't agree nowadays. I have a question that we judges are so that important to decide the way that the majority of the breeders should run. I have that question or doubt.
But would you agree that if there is a big winning dog that perhaps you go and look at the sire of that dog or the dam, the mother of that dog, and use that dog rather than the dog that's actually winning?
I don't understand the decisions. I don't understand why they made that.
But if you've got a dog that's winning, that's a big winning dog, do you not think people should look at what perhaps the father of that particular dog was?
Obviously.
Rather than using the dog that's winning.
Exactly. if the father of that dog is alive, it's much more important to do the mating with that dog, the father, than with the son, if the father is alive. Okay, but for example, nowadays you have that, you know, that we can have frozen salmon, for example.
Yes.
And people, if you look at some important breeders, they use much more frozen salmon from old dogs than important champions nowadays in the rings.
So I know you're involved in the Portuguese Kennel Club, and you're involved in breed clubs, etc., etc. How important do you think it is for yourself to give something back to the sport, and do you think enough people do that?
Well, back to the sport, you mean about teaching, about
in terms of teaching, in terms of running shows, in terms of...
Well, we can't never forget that a dog show, it's not a circus, okay? A dog show must be very important for the children, for the community, okay, to be didactic, pedagogic in terms how to behave. Also, that is very, very important. And also, we are getting old. We was children, and they are generations, and it's about society and community. You must talk with the children. You must talk with the young guys who is appearing to the dog show and give them the right message, okay, in terms how to behave, how to be respectful, how to learn, how to listen, and also from us to listen what doubts they have, what questions they have, what they want to learn. And this is it's about sharing, okay? It's about sharing acknowledgement and also sharing experiences and what you should do, it's better, don't do it. And because this sport must grow up nowadays in several countries, and please don't tell me that it's because economy or because money. The entries start to going down, okay? And you must ask why. Also, if you go 10 or 20 years ago, or 15 or 10 years ago, a breeder arrived to the dog show with a puppy, with a junior, with the champion, and the veteran. Now arrive with one dog. Okay, one dog. And we must understand what is this. Also, speaking about my country, for example, I don't want to speak about other countries, but my country, for example, in some dog shows, it's the same faces, the same people. It's like a private club. And this is right. I don't believe that this is right. Okay, we must call new people. Okay, dog shows and dog people and kennel clubs all over the Europe or in the world must go to the schools, must go to the universities, must go. Every single country have national breeds, must go to the cultural department, and don't look at us, for example, in terms of society, that we are breeders of pure breeds, that we are like scientists and make experiences. No, pure breeds have, all the pure breeds have a history behind. Okay, if you go from the first group to group 10, you have very, very different utilities in different breeds. You must explain this to the society. You must communicate this. The main problem nowadays is communication, because people want to close themselves in their own room or home or wherever. And I don't speak that every country it's like this, but we must give to the society. We must call new people. For example, I go to some countries and junior handlers, you have 30 or 35 or 40. In some countries, 1, 2. And the daddy and the mommy say clap, clap, clap. this is nothing. I like when I arrive, especially in my country, and I see a lot of new people, new faces. Okay, they came, and we must receive. We must open the arms. And okay, I'd like that you return again. Okay, and if the dog that you have in hands, it's not a top dog, have this positive, this positive, this positive, this positive, but if you come, you go to learn, and you go to see another dogs in another rings, okay, in another classes, and you can check the difference between that dogs and yours. And who knows, when you go to buy a female or a puppy again, okay, a male or a female, you can choose a best one, that you have in hands. And this is about communication.
And that's very interesting what you're saying, because that brings us on to the next question, which is, and you are a breeder of boxers, you've had Boston Terriers, and you have a love of Cane Corso. So this whole issue about how kennel clubs have dealt with the whole brachycephalic breeds situation, do you think they're handling it correctly? Do you think they need to adopt a different approach?
Well, brachycephal breeds, the problem is because the extreme. Okay, a brachycephal can have a good breath if it is a very good construction in all the head and all the brain. The problem if you go under the extreme. For example, there was a time that in boxers, for example, the most shorter boxer, it's the best. Okay, something that nowadays it's the opposite, but the standard always was there. But there was a majority of judges that who more short it is, much better it is.
Yes.
And it's the same nowadays with French bulldogs, with Bostons, with boxers, and another brachycephals. But the standard was there. If you have the right proportions, you don't have any problem with brachycephals. Also, you must look at the health problems and also the genetic problems, that sometimes you have very high problems in your genetic, in your line breeding. And these we must go under control. And this is all about kennel clubs must control. Breed clubs must control. But for me, it's not a reason to change the standard. For example, speaking about boxers, if you put the boxers with 2 centimeters more in the nose, you believe that goes to be more right? No. I know, for example, in Portugal, I know 1 or 2 breeders of Portuguese pointer, okay, that die with breath problem and heart problems, but especially for breath. And it's a pointer. It's a Portuguese pointer. Okay? It's about line breedings.
Yeah.
The problem is not in the brachycephals.
Well, but do you think that kennel clubs, and when I say kennel clubs, I'm talking about FCI, Kennel Club London, maybe the AKC, etc. Are they doing enough to advertise our message out there? Should they adopt a common policy?
Yeah, completely.
And
in my opinion,
and we need to start lobbying politicians. We need to start lobbying Europe, Pedro. These activists that we all see running into Best in Show or Crufts or attacking cars at World Dog Shows, they've got money behind them.
Listen, somehow some people look at us like a private club of golf. Okay, we are like a private club. And I one time I read in an international newspaper that the pure breed breeders and this what they call circus of FCI, it's the same like battles of dogs. Imagine how someone or some group of people can compare that pit bull terriers people fighting with dogs until one of them die, it's the same like us. Why? And you must ask. They have a problem? No, probably we have a problem because we are not able to explain the difference. And this is about communication. If the kennel clubs all over the world with the same political, with the same, I don't have any problem to say, lobby communication with politicians. For example, if you go to the assembly of some governments, you have a lobby, a very important lobby, and they are the hunters.
Yeah.
Okay? But the animalists are be quiet with that. If you are a hunter, okay, if you are a hunter and you go to the pork or to the birds or wherever, there is not a problem because politicians close all of these and they are hunters. Okay, but they have their own political lobby. We FCI must have a strategy in terms to communicate. Like I said before, every single country have national breeds. For example, my country, we have a Portuguese pointer. It's a hunting dog, very important dog, very, very old breed. We have the water dog, Portuguese water dog, that it's help to the fishermen and help the fishermen and the fish and the man during the work. We have the mountain dogs. We have, for shepherds, we have different breeds with different using by men in different ways. Why you don't explain this like culture? Why you don't explain to the society in every single country how important these breeds are for the man? For example, for the farmer, for the old men who have the sheep in the mountains.
But this is what we did.
For the Portuguese water dog, how important was that breed in the past? How beauty this breed is. And
in fairness, this is what the Irish Kennel Club did with our native breeds and gained heritage status for all of the breeds that we have here. And that's what other kennel clubs and FCI need to be doing. We need to educate the public. We have a situation in Ireland where 90% of the phone calls that my daughter gets are for Cavachons. Because she's secretary of the Bichon Club. Now, Cavachons are a recipe for disaster. But the vets are saying that they're a lovely breed, they're a healthy breed, but they're a mongrel. And we need to get that out into the public.
But this is all about communication, okay?
Yes.
For example, I don't understand why FCI or some countries, some kennel clubs don't have public relation departments. I don't understand why.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why they don't work together in terms of community. And I mean, again, children, okay?
Yeah.
Children. Every single children loves a dog. These children can grow up to understand the difference between dogs. The dog, every single breed are different. It's not only about 4 feet in the head and the tail. They are different. What kind of work they do? Why a Newfoundlander exists? Why education.
Yeah.
And pure breeds, we are not scientists or experienced. No, we are pure breeds defenders. Why? Because we work every single day to maintain the breeds, how much pure they can be, okay, in terms of the standard of every single breed. For example, some breeds they are coming for don't exist anymore. Anyone is worried about that? I don't heard nothing about that. Okay, then we all know that it's a question of fashion. Some years ago in my country, Rottweilers, Labradors, Dobermans, they was the best. But now it's a completely different. Now it's the time of the French Bulldog. Now it's the time of, it's a question of fashion, okay? And this, it's something that we must all together, and it starts in FCI, to make a meeting to start a new strategy about communication to every single country, okay? And also to start a way of lobbying with politicians.
You're right, and you're right. It is fashion. I mean, you mentioned that the boxers, etc. But in the 60s and 70s, it was the white toy poodle. Everyone wanted a white toy poodle, and they became the most unhealthy breed.
Look at the German Shepherd,
the Yorkshire Terrier. You had backyard breeders breeding them at a ferocious rate. And we need to learn from our experiences and try and stop this. Okay, so we lighten up the thing. We're going to lighten things up now. You're going to have a dinner party, Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what guests must you have at your dinner party?
All over the world, no matter subject.
All over the world. You just pick your 4 guests.
Well, but alive or dead?
It can be either.
Okay. Well, about if I have a possibility in other life, no matter if it's in, for example, imagine in the sky, okay, in the sky, a table, one beautiful bottle of wine. Well, I must say that if I had the experience, I invite Nelson Mandela and John Lennon to my table.
Oh yeah, absolutely, John Lennon.
This is it's all about if you are clever enough, and I know that you are. It's about communication and messages, okay? And with communication and messages, you can change the world, okay? And it's, if Nelson Mandela changed the world, the view of the world, if John Lennon give a peaceful message by the music, why we are not able to communicate with the society all over the world about pure breeds? Why?
Well said.
If Nelson Mandela changed the apartheid in history, we are not able to communicate with the society that pure breeds in every single country. It's important for the culture of the country. It's difficult.
Well said.
And also alive people who I invite to dinner with me.
Yeah.
My father, because I want to enjoy every minute with him, because I lose my mother when I was young, and I don't have the chance to dinner with her anymore. And my father is getting old. Everybody's getting old, and I want those who I love a lot closer.
Okay. You have one more.
One more?
One more. That's 3.
Oh, alive? Alive?
Okay, it doesn't have to be. It's your choice.
My brother, and the closers. People who is close of me. Okay. And obviously that I have my heart, and obviously that I have also someone special, but I keep it for me.
I like that.
You know that my private life, it's my private life.
And is there a judge or breeder worldwide or in Portugal, whatever, that you really admire?
Well, in boxers, it's Mr. Tanoni that changed completely my point of view of boxers. I used to call him Mr. Tanoni like the Picasso of the boxers.
Okay.
And by the way, well, if I can dinner with my father and I have Bob Dylan with the guitar,
we're there.
Can be.
Yeah. I'll be a fly on the wall of that one.
Yeah.
So, okay, come on. Funniest or most embarrassing moment as a judge or exhibitor?
Well, the most embarrassing moment, like a judge or like exhibitor. Well, like a judge, I had one. Well, I have more than three embarrassing moments, but I can tell you.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Well, I remember the time. I trying to remember what country, but when I'm judging, I used to have a tie. Okay, a tie, and I was judging outside, and I was judging boxers. Okay. And when I judge, I touch the boxer, I see the teeth, the eyes, the head, blah, 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 the chest. And then I say, well, move. But when I say move, comes a wind, and my tie fly. And the boxer takes the tie. And, imagine me like, going with the tie. It was very embarrassing. Okay. The second embarrassing moment was in Russia. I was judging ovcharka,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a very, very tiny little ring.
Okay.
Open class males, about 6 or 7 males, very, very aggressive. But then I realized that in a moment that when the dogs appear to the ring, I was like we used to behave in the ring. Then I go to the middle to see the ring, and I saw that the majority of the handlers are old ladies. Well, and then the males start to try to bite, and when a dog goes, the old lady gives 1-2 steps, and then I asked to myself if I go to be alive after that. And then I put all the dogs out, okay, and say one by one, and then to run because the ring was little. And I said, well, two dogs or 3 dogs at the time to go around, and then give space. But the ring, it was so little that it's impossible. But it was embarrassing because I start to see myself like in the middle of bears, okay. And another one that I remember now, it was very, very, how I say, strange moment. I remember that it was in Ukraine, summertime, out in a football stadium, and I was judging miniature schnauzers.
Mm-hmm.
And it appeared one handler. I don't know if it is a handler or the owner, but it's not important. With a very, it's not a skirt, it's like a belt. She was dressed in white, okay? And it was a very mini
Okay.
skirt with a very, very short t-shirt with the twins outside. And I arrived with my face closed and say, hello, do you speak English? And she said, yes. I said, well, so sorry. But if you are not able to dress yourself, I'm not able to judge the dog. And if you please put a jacket or change or something, or if not, it's impossible. Well, impossible. I try to be a little bit funny, but she don't want to change. And I said, well, okay, I go to be my judgment. I go to make my judgment. But when I finished the judgment, I said, listen, next time that you appear, by the way, she didn't win. Okay. For those who think that, no, she doesn't win. And I said, listen, you are free to dress the way you want. Okay. I give you that freedom. But if you appear next time to my ring undressed like that, almost naked, I go to stop you in the ring. Okay. I go to stop you in the ring because this is a ring. Out of the ring, you can dress or naked if you want, but inside the ring, you must respect me, because if with this weather, if I arrive with my jacket, with my tie,
Yes.
To respect a dog show and respect exhibitors, you must respect also for me. But it was, I tried to be funny, but she didn't understand. She probably think that how more it's naked, more probably she wins, and it's but it's better that I don't tell you more because I have a lot of embarrassing.
I bet you have. So what's your guilty pleasure?
My great pleasure.
Your guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
Yes.
To be free. To be free. And with this answer, I must say that I'm free to do what I want without give pain to anybody. Okay, my freedom stops when I cross the line and I start to give something bad for another one, no matter if it is a man or a woman, a girl or a boy, or a friend or a family. But I can say that I have some guilty pleasures.
Okay. And if you could be transported to another country, which would it be?
Italy.
I thought that was going to be the case. You love Italy.
Especially in South. But in Italy, if you put me in a very little village with the grandmother cooking for me in a restaurant, give me some pasta, good wine, with the beach close, okay, where I can swim and take some sun, I'm a happy man.
And finally, if you could write your epitaph, what would it be?
Well, free to be who I am, no matter what.
And that you are.
Yeah. And this is my richness.
Pedro, thank you very much. It's been brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations for your program.
Been thoroughly enjoying.
And thank you for everybody who view our conversation. It's very nice when we are feeling ourselves. By the way, call me. Cheers.
Absolutely. To you too.
Cheers.
And hopefully we will see you in the not too distant future when we all get vaccinated, and we will enjoy a glass of wine in person.
Okay.
And in the meantime, happy Easter. Happy Easter to everybody who's watching.
Stay safe. Stay safe, and see you soon, because we must change and turn out this pandemic, because we are people from the world, and we can't stay close in home with this health problem. Okay. Absolutely. All the best. Happy Easter. Thank you for the invitation. It was my pleasure. See you next time.
It was our pleasure. And
Thank you.
I will see everyone next Saturday. So good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.